Welcome. Vision versus mission. So many people, so many people that you know that you've been around, friends, acquaintances, professional, colleagues, people that you meet here and there, people that you've grew up with. I've heard about a mission. A mission basically is something that you're given, that you're going to go to, and that you're going to accomplish. Hoping, praying that you're going to be successful at it. But a mission is a one type focus statement that takes you from point A to point B and then it ends. That's a mission. A mission isn't something that you're going to keep on going. Otherwise, it becomes a series of missions. A mission typically is something that is much more laser thin like motion. It goes right to the heart of that process, to that protocol, to that system, and it ends. A vision, on the other hand, is different. What is a vision? A vision is defined as the guide to success in terms of the contribution to society. How broad can it be? What does it do? Where does it go? How do we get there? What is the vision and what is the protocol that we're instituting that we want to implement so that people, at least those around us, those that we're trying to affect, will be somewhat directly or indirectly affected by that. As you see, some of you are going to affect 2, 3, 4 people in your life. Some of you are going to affect 2, 3 dozen people in your life. Some of you are going to affect hundreds of people, and some of you will affect thousands of people. It's all in the philosophy, but it's all in the vision that you're creating. The broader the vision, the more in depth it is, the more it is relied on intuition and dreaming, because the intuition is something that you have within you. The dreaming is something that becomes above you, something that is greater than you. It should have in it power and emotion. The power to cause that foundation to be real. The power to take you on a positive, enthusiastic momentum and to make a quantum leap into another stratosphere. And it should have the emotion because it should come from the heart. It should come from your brain because it should be smart. It should be based on intellect. But it should have your heart so that it should be kind and it could be done in a way where people appreciate what you're doing. However, it would not be ever successful if it wasn't based on truth and dedication. The beauty of truth is that the beginning of any statement, the middle of any statement, and the end of any statement is truthful if it remains continuous and constant. Dedication to the approach that ultimately it's all about helping another person. If you help other people get what they want and what they need, you will get everything that you want in life. It's over and over again we've seen it. That people, the more they help others, the more they've been helped themselves, and the more rewards they receive from that. Let me give you a couple simple vision statements that we can see from some that have made changes and that have affected thousands, if not millions of people. John F. Kennedy, for instance, said that by the end of the decade, we will have put a man on the moon. And he was right. Indeed, we have not only gone once, but twice, but many, many more times to the moon. And what have we learned from that? What have we found out from that? All the technology developments that we see today are studies and learning and growth that we have gained from all these people dedicating their life into the process of intuition and dreaming and literally overcoming all obstacles to get to the truth of what our world is made up of. Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world, said what? He said that there will be a personal computer on everyone's desk running Microsoft software. How right was he of this? How many millions and millions and millions of computers today run on the software that he had helped create. Now, he may not be the one that did it all. There was a team. But one thing is for sure, his vision drove through the obstacles and the challenges of life to get him and get all of us to a point today where without computers we wouldn't know what to do, including this presentation that you're seeing. Another great man, Martin Luther King, had a dream at one point in time that all people of all races and all colors and all ethnic backgrounds would be able to share in this beautiful, godly, holy world that we were given as a place where we can live and a place where we can, all of us, share in the beauty, and not only the beauty of the development, but also in the beauty of living on a day-to-day basis for each and every one of us to be together. Now, when you do this, there are some questions that you can ask. And these are the things that you need to ask first and foremost about yourself, your clinic, before you can set onto the vision statement. Why did you create this practice? What is the point? What is the goal? There is no question that you want to help more people. But do you know what you're trying to do with that? What type of patients you want to help? How do you want to get there? The exercise that you're going through? Is this valuable at the end of the day to all patients? Are you segmenting just a few people? What is that? If this practice could be all that it could possibly be, what would you like it to be? What should it look like? Are you talking about 10 more thousand square feet? Instead of 20, it should be 30. Instead of 40, it should be 50,000 square feet. Double levels? What is it that you see? Is it in its capacity? Is it in its decor? Is it in its staff? Is it in the amount of money that it makes? What is it that you're trying to do? Where do you see this practice in 10 years from now? Where would you like to go with that? How can this clinic promote and support the well-being of your community? You have to think of this as a personal endeavor to make a difference in the world. This is your opportunity to affect not dozens, not hundreds, thousands, thousands and thousands of people. You can do that. I have seen it over and over again from the clinics that have developed multidiscipline centers nationwide, and hundreds of them have affected thousands of people. And that's the beauty of us joining forces together, is with your help and my support and coaching and your assistance in making sure that things happen in your office and the support from all the staff, we will create this type of clinic. You have to ask yourself, how can I treat all the people with the best of healthcare has to offer? If there are so many options out there, what is it that we're looking for? What is it that can be done? What is it that I can really give to the patients that they can benefit from? And one of the things that you have to look at is the patient feedback. We'll have to look at this. Your patients are the most valuable resource when creating your vision statement. They're the ones at the end of the day that we're doing all this for. Now, some of you might say, well, I want to make more money. That's true, and that's also a good point. Well, I would love to have a greater center. It's a matter of ego. That's true, and that's also a good point. I just want to be able to help a lot more people because it'll make my family proud. That's also true. All these points are true. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. There's nothing wrong with wanting to broaden services and having the pride and literally at any given time the endeavor to feel confident about what you're doing. But the ultimate goal should be to help as many people as possible. Should be to treat the patients in the best of healthcare environment, all under one roof. It should be to deliver excellent service. And for that, you must learn to deliver that service in a way in which your patients need and really know what they want and ask for what they want. You see, too often we worry about what we want, what we need, what we think, what we like, what we have. In a case of a clinic, it's not about you. In the case of a clinic, it's about the patient. The patient comes first and last. The patient always is the one that we're concerned about. Without that patient, you're not a doctor. As a matter of fact, if we were to take a doctor, any denomination, any type of degree, any type of practice, and you were to give them 20, 30, 40, 50 various certificate, diplomas, graduating papers, anything you want, with all training in the world, and you put him or her on an island, is that person a doctor? Not really. That person is not a doctor. Just a human being. That's all it is. Why? To be a doctor means to have patients that you treat. It's the patients that make this human being a doctor. Without the patients, not a doctor. He could call himself a doctor. He could certainly say, I'm a doctor. He could dream about being a doctor. He could walk around like a nut everywhere saying, I'm a doctor. I'm the greatest doctor. I'm the best doctor. But if you don't treat patients, you're not the doctor. It's the doctor that treats the patient that deserves the title. The doctor is the one that helps other people. By you being this doctor in this integrated practice, you're actually broadening your services and you're becoming the most important aspect of your clinic. But not for yourself, but rather for the patients. So you'll have to ask yourself, what is your dream of the best healthcare office? What would the atmosphere be like if I were to take this clinic to a higher level? What would the doctors be like? All of us working together to take us to the next level. That's what we've got to do. Now, to do this isn't something you can do by yourself. You see, we have to work as a team. We have to work together so that each and every one of us feels that we are partners in this clinic. Personally, as your coach, as your consultant, Practice Perfect and myself, obviously, are here to assist you in all of those steps. But remember, I can only help you if you want to help yourself. I can only help you if you agree to change. I can only help you if you agree to let me into this process, and together we can create this new environment, this new momentum. But you can't do it by yourself, and neither can I. We need your staff. We need the help. So in writing the vision statement, what we have to do is we have to brainstorm with your team and write down all of your ideas. We've got to put it in such a way that it makes sense. For instance, you can use metaphors to help enhance the visualization process. You can, if you wish, draw pictures of what success would be like. Let me just show you an example right here. Our organization is like a marching band playing together to lead the team to victory. You see, something this powerful lets us know why we're doing it and how we're doing it and the reason. Now, the makeup of a mission statement can be quite powerful, but there are a few rules to set in motion so that we know that we get our point across. One is it must be clear and concise. If you say too much, you're not going to get the point across. Those mission statements that are 20, 30, 40 lines, they just don't get anywhere. That may be okay for a country, but it's not good for an office. It's not good for a clinic. We have to get to the point, and it has to be very clear so that people can get the message, and it can pierce right through their intellect and motivate their mission mind and right into their heart. It has to include the name of the practice. Otherwise, your vision statement is just speaking about a concept, an idea. So it should mention who you are and what you do. It describes what you do in the best of the verbiage. Now remember, this isn't something you're going to come up with overnight. It's not going to be. It's going to take a little bit more time to do this. So this is something you want to take your time doing it. Because after all, it establishes who you're going to serve. And not only that, it's only going to state also why and where you're serving them. So it's got to have this broad of a knowledge. Review this lecture over and over again to get to the point to where you need to be. In creating the mission statement, what we're looking for is all of you working together. We have to brainstorm as a team and everybody has to work together writing those ideas. The mission statement should be one or more than two sentences, no more than that, so that again it's clear. And it should be congruent with the vision and the values of the whole team, and everyone in the team needs to work together. When you create your mission and the vision statement with your team, this vision itself needs to take you to paint a picture of success and the future of the practice. The mission statements tell who you are, what you do, who you serve, and where it is. I just want to say one more thing. I'm going to present at this point a simple mission statement, and I'm going to show you what it should be. However, I must emphasize at this point that the mission statement is not just something that you create and put up like a logo and then let the logo be itself. Interestingly enough, when I was in practice, my logo was a lotus, a flower lotus, and then two hens holding that lotus. And you're welcome to call me at any time or call our office and look at it. It should be in many of the materials that you've been given by Practice Perfect. But if you look at this lotus, which represents peace, serenity, and harmony, that's what the lotus represents. And the two hands coming together, offering it to patients. I wanted a sense of simplicity. I wanted to show the patients a sense of commonality, but at the same time of service. I wanted them to know that I was there and that I had dedicated my life to their needs. And indeed, for the first several years of my practice, when patients needed any type of service, whether it was a treatment or medication or anything at all, I was at their beck and call. I cannot tell you how many house calls I had made in the first couple of years of my practice, and most of the time not charged for it. I can't even begin to tell you how many times patients came to my office who did not afford care, and I gave it to them for free. This is the mission which I had in my life initially, and that was to treat as many patients as possible. In setting out my statements, I set out my vision, both together. However, in processing the clinic, I realized that I had to be organized, and that's when I broadened my services. And I created a very large multidisciplinary clinic. Interestingly enough, I had over 5 physicians. We had 2 massage therapists that were part-time and 3 full-time. I had 2 physical therapists full-time, and I had staff up and down the hallway, 2 separate clinics. We did extremely well, not only from the fact that we saw many patients and rendered hundreds and hundreds of treatments, but also financially. All the blessings in the world were bestowed upon me and my family through this clinic. And I'm grateful for that. But I know that part of my success, besides being the blessing from God, part of my success was due to my diligence and my focus on the need of my patients. As a sample, for instance, I can show you at Beach Medical Center, we are a visionary team of healthcare professionals committed to the art of healing through touching and caring. You see, in a simple statement, we are able to not only focus on what we have, what we want, what we need, who we are, where we're going with this, but exactly what we serve and how we're supposed to serve them. Here's another one. The mission of Smith's Healthcare is to provide excellent patient care to the families of our community by continually improving the quality of services and utilizing all services, resources effectively. That's what it's all about. You have to make it so that it's real. It has to come from the heart. And that's why initially we were talking about not only intellect, but emotions as well. Yes, you have to think it through, but you have to let your heart write the words. Your mind dictates your arm to move and your fingers to actually create the letters. But your heart should be the one that creates the direction of those words, so that not only can you touch many people, but you can help them and get them to where they need to be. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. I wish you all the best and God bless you in all your endeavors, especially in creating a mission statement, which will take you from a vision to a true mission. Thank you.